processes that are essential for living things. Any questions right now? So we have this universe that begins with hydrogen gas and then becomes stars. And then in those stars, as the hydrogen burns, the heavy elements come about. And then when some stars get old, they collapse and they throw their atoms out into the universe. And if they're a heavy enough star, they have made atoms that are more than the hydrogen and helium that they started out with. And then those atoms like sulfur and carbon and oxygen and nitrogen, those atoms can form into new stars and new planets. And that's most extraordinary because we are on the Earth. We have a planet full of oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, all these atoms, which again, they're all made of the same stuff, right? They're just heavier. And so, but when they get heavier, they have new qualities. That's amazing, right? Um, I'm sorry?
Adam is not the same as the planet.
As the what?
Planet, the planet that we live on, like Earth and Pluto, Mercury.
Well, all planets are made of atoms.
Oh, I see.
Um, Atoms are like the bricks of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is made of atoms of different kinds. And it is the atoms were constructed in the stars themselves. So we we are made of the stars. We are made of the atoms that were made in the stars. That's pretty amazing, right? We are actually star stuff. Um, so we have the remnants of stars that created the atoms in our bodies billions of years ago, millions of years ago, and so we're much more ancient than we think, and we're part of a huge heritage or story that has now unfolded for us, and we now understand something of this story about how we got here and who we are. Any questions or comments?
Who are we?
Who are we? That's a great question. That's a wonderful question. And in fact, that question is one of the central questions that is asked in the Hindu religion. The Hindu religion wants us to examine who are we. The Hindu religion wants us to find out our real nature or our essential nature. The Hindu religion is very much attuned to the universe. It's the only religion that has the number of has the right age of the universe, or approximates the universe in terms of billions and billions of years. And the the religious people of India have asked this question: who are we? Each of us, while each of us is very unique and different, we also have sameness about us, right? We also have this. We eat the same way. We process our food the same way. We all need water. We all need sunlight. We all need air to breathe, right? We all do those things in the same exact way.
We're good.
Yeah. Um, and so we have a lot in common, and one of the most interesting things we have in common is consciousness. What is consciousness? That's a big question. Um,
Memory of the brain.
the brain, right? How the brain manufactures the world, how the brain sees the world. Scientists today say we really see with the brain. Our eyes are only the beginning. Our eyes pick up the light and form the electrical signals that travel into the brain where they're interpreted like a television set. And in the brain, the picture is assembled and made clear for us. And this is happening in a brain that's dark. That's pretty interesting. It's going on in a brain that's dark. The same is true of sound. We hear sound, but it's once it goes into the ear, it's converted into an electrical signal that goes into a certain part of the brain where the brain figures out the sound and makes it into something that we can understand. How the brain does this, we don't know. The same with taste and touch. Everything is turned into electrical signals that somehow the brain can figure out what's going on. So we have this consciousness, and we normally think of consciousness or mind as the thinking mind. But a lot is going on below the thinking mind. The way I just mentioned, how we process the world is going on below the thinking mind, or as the thinking mind is operating. We also have this, what is called, I think you could call it a general consciousness, general awareness, which is not thought, which is not words or ideas, but the the picture of the world that we create in our minds, or the our sense of what's going on around us and in us. And so this consciousness is the same for all of us, isn't it? Would you agree with that? Even though we have different experiences and different feelings and different, we have Republicans or Democrats or whatever, or you have a different experience to your life, but we all, I think, have the same basic awareness of the world,
Right.
right? You agree with that?
Definitely.
Um, Wayne, do you agree with that? Wayne?
Yes, and no.
Yes and no. Okay. What's the no part?
Well, it depends on what time in space that we exist.
Yes, that's true, but do you think that your grandfather had a different basic awareness of the world than you did?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
He
Okay.
was
All right. All right. But to get back to the original point, the the Hindu religion says that we are the same on a certain level of consciousness. And that this is what makes us all part of the great flow of life, the great river of life, you might say, that becomes all things. We see life arising and passing away, arising and passing away. This is the eternal nature of life, to create and destroy and create and destroy. And yet what is not destroyed is life itself. Right? Life goes on, life flourishes, new beings come into existence, and they have the same consciousness as we. And it is as if they are us, in a sense. We and they are not different, just as lighting a candle moves the flame from one candle to another. New life comes into existence which has the same flame. These are things you can think about, and we can discuss them next week, perhaps.
Yeah.
The moving flame of life.
Love it. Love it.
You love it?
The moving flame of life.
Moving from a life, that sounds interesting.
All right, maybe we can think about that, and we can talk about it again next week.
Okay.
All right.
All right? I want to thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here today. It's a great pleasure to be with you. I can't tell you how much.
Oh,
A really great pleasure to be with you. My whole life. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Be well.